in our industry, in the technology industry, people there's certain kind of stereotypes that people have about technology companies. And for me, I haven't worked at a high technology company before, but I've worked at, venture capital based companies, fast growth companies, companies that have had a lot of funding and have grown very rapidly. And you see founders who have all of a sudden, they're in charge of managing thousands of people, and it's, happening overnight, and there's all these people involved in the business. And so for us, we've had to think about, how do we want to grow this? And for us, we want to grow it in a way that we can handle it. That Todd and I don't have to ever feel like the business is out of our hands, that we no longer can manage it or, can understand it. And for me, coming from a family that always had family-owned businesses, I like to try to bring some of that into the technology world, and some of the aspects of a family business, a culture. And we think of all of our employees as family. I'd love for this company to be around a long time from now. You go out and talk to a lot of founders of tech companies, that's not their plan. They are all about the exit strategy.
Exactly. Which is kind of scary.
Yeah, but I get it, right? It's just kind of a different way of thinking. But we'd like to see this company be around 100 years from now.
It's incredible. It is good growth. I look at it though, and I always say we are slow and steady. We may be perceived to be growing fast, but I look at similar tech companies and I think, well, okay, there's, comparing us to like I'm not going to say somebody's name, like an Uber or something, right? Which is explosive. That's to me is the explosive growth. Where to me, I'm like, well, that's just so fast, so out of the ballpark. And I'm like, I think, and we're not even over 50 people, right? We're still a very small company, where we maybe, our customer base has grown, revenues have grown, but I think it's all about kind of controlling the growth in such a way that it's manageable, so that we never really lose control over our day-to-day operation. We never are overwhelmed and can't provide good quality service to an end user. I think that's been our focus. And have we maybe put the brakes in certain places? I think we have. It's probably not perceived that way, but we've definitely, I think, held back in some areas simply because we feel that we're not ready for that next move.
Yeah, and it also, as I think about every person that we hire, I think about, is this person a good fit right now for what we need? But more importantly, is this person a good fit for 5 to 10 years down the road, what we need? Like, I want to hire people that, every single person that we hire, I want to be bringing something to the table that we don't have right now. Because even though I might not have this really cool management executive job for them right now, I will.
Yes.
And so I want to figure out ways in our culture to engage those type of people, to get them excited about it, and to make them see their path here. Because I really want it to be a place that people can work for a long time.
I try to make sure everyone feels that they are empowered to make decisions. I think that we are such a small team. Every single one of us is critical to just keeping the day-to-day operations alive, making that immediate decision around how to handle a customer, how to handle a sale, how to implement a new feature, making good judgment calls. And I feel like that's part of what Laurie's saying, is hiring folks who can make these good decisions in the moment.
My background is, I have a finance background, and so a lot of what I do is probably kind of unusual for a company of our size. I get very focused on the numbers, and I try to also bring that to everyone in the company as well, so that at any given time, anyone here can know exactly what our revenue is, they can know exactly what our growth rate is over last year, over prior quarter. I want everybody to feel ownership and have a lot of visibility around that. So we look very closely at those numbers, and we map out goals every quarter, every year, and to figure out, what do we think we can accomplish next year, way ahead of time. And we grew at a very fast growth rate this year. We expect to do it next year. I think it's just I think it's a combination of the work that Todd and his team are doing around just keeping the product ahead of the curve. This space is growing so quickly. There's so much opportunity here, as the way that people think about interacting with the phone system is changing. You no longer need like a legacy phone provider in your office.
Right.
People come into our office and they're like, where are your phones? You don't have any phones on your desk. You don't need that.
Yeah.
And big companies are realizing that they, they don't need these massively expensive and complicated phone systems. And so it's just a matter of how do we position ourselves in that space. And the interesting thing is as well is companies are getting much more open-minded about handing their phone system over to a company like us. It used to be, you only go with a big guy. You talk to AT&T or Cisco or somebody like that. But there's much more kind of innovation. People want the innovative solutions that maybe are these kind of different cloud-based companies like us.
Yep.
So there's just a lot of opportunity, a lot of features we need to develop.
A lot of features, yep.
And a lot of hiring we need to do. I mean, one of the hardest things that I get stressed out about is hiring people, and especially where we're based. We don't sit in like the tech capital of the world, But we kind of like that. We like that we could potentially bring technology talent to this area. I think there's a lot going on in Baltimore. There's always stuff going on in DC that's interesting, and just being able to draw talent that we need, particularly on the engineering side, is always something we have to think about.
Yes.
We try, we run a profitable company. It's always been a very big priority for us, and we try to compensate our employees very well. And give them a share of those profits every year.
Yeah. So it's not like an IOU that's pending on, all this hope and maybe, but it's real. Every year we hit our targets. There's growth. There's money to be had.